Hi, I'm Erica O. With over 20 years in the psychology field, a master's in clinical psychology, licensure as a mental health clinician, and accreditation by the International Coaching Federation, I'm so excited to hold this space with athletes as they share real stories behind the stats, mental blocks, breakthroughs, and what it truly takes to thrive as an athlete. Let's dive in. Hi, how's it going, Justin? Welcome. So honored, really excited to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you.
Core Mental Pro. I wanted to really shine who you are as a boxer, being able to share a little bit more about your experience being a 25-year-old from here, Salinas, California, getting through some really, really exciting matches that you've overcome. You are Justin the Stallion Cardona.
Yep.
Dedicated, committed, and you drive to really get that success where you are right now. You're boxing since you're 7 years old, and I would just love to hear more about you if you want to share so that the audience can hear all that you have accomplished.
Well, yeah. I'm from here, from Salinas, born here, raised here, and I started boxing at the age of 7, and my mom was the one that got me into boxing at the age of 7 because she was the boxer. Mm-hmm. So it was good. I started off wrestling before boxing, but I tried other sports because I got kind of bored of wrestling, and just something about the boxing stuck to me. My first day of boxing, they threw me in the ring to spar, and I got my ass whooped, but something about it just kept me coming back in, and ever since then, I loved it.
Yes, and you seem so humble. I just met you. I really, really am excited to ask you, what have you accomplished in your young 25 years of being in the sport? As you said, you got into it because your mom really encouraged you. So you seem really humble. Share with me what you have accomplished as of now.
I think the biggest accomplishment is not everybody can say that they're a professional boxer. Not everyone is able to go pro, and they have that luxury of being able to do that because it's a hard thing. Mm-hmm. So I say the biggest accomplishment is just saying that I'm a professional athlete, boxer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, professional boxer, 10 wins, 1 loss. Share a little bit more about that experience going through those wins.
Oh, the wins, they're amazing, I don't let them get me, get too prideful about it or anything like that, I just see it as a win and just getting ready for the next one. Mm-hmm. I just stay ready and just looking to improve every single fight.
So when was your last fight?
My last fight was this past weekend, May 31st in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, which I won. It was a split decision, but it was a good fight. I won.
Okay, yes, that's all that matters. You won. You are able to say that you have that now 10-1, being able to get ready for the next, whatever that is going to be. And hopefully we can share a little bit more here on the podcast. So again, thank you so much. As you just mentioned, got back from Vegas on Friday. Here you are. You can't really see it, but as you shared with me, being able to show, still physically some of that fight is still showing on your face, and being able to notice that, the flexibility that you were able to show coming on here and be willing to share your experience and your accolades, what you have accomplished, what you are looking forward to in accomplishing. And so when I bring on athletes here on my podcast, the acronym that I'd like to share, what I've noticed many athletes go through, those setbacks and challenges and adversity as they overcome these situations in their career. So the acronym, the word is TRIP, TRIP, and it's an acronym for T for transitions, R for relationships, and I for injury, P for performance. So if you'd be willing to share from one of those letters, if you were to choose one of those letters so that you can share and dive into, some of those experiences that you have you overcome and been able to notice what were the challenges in one of those letters. So which one are you going to pick?
I can give you a little bit of everything,
probably.
I'll give you transitions,
transitions. Okay.
Transitioning from an amateur to being pro when I was 18, it was a big difference, going from being with with headgear to no headgear is a big difference. You know, you feel the punches a lot more. It's a lot more dangerous too. You know, you're more likely to get cuts, you know, bruising, concussions. You're more likely to just get more injured that way. You know, and it's fun though. You know, it gives you a really good adrenaline rush, you know.
And so how old were you, if you don't mind me asking, the age between amateur into the pro boxing? What was that age?
Right out of high school, right when I turned 18 is when I went and signed the papers to turn professional and everything.
Okay, so you're ready to go.
Yeah, had my first professional fight when I was 18, which it was a very great fight. I had it over when it was the Oracle in Oakland. I had my first pro fight there at a sold-out arena, and it was no other feeling like I've ever felt before. It was amazing, you know. So it was great.
Okay, and so when you think back on that transitional point in your career, you start going into now you are in that professional arena. What would you say was that challenge or something that was really difficult for you in that moment that you had to make that shift?
That's a good question. I can't answer that one right now.
Okay, that's okay. No problem. Yeah. So you thinking about it and understanding, you know, that transitions happen all throughout, right? Whether it's, you know, that amateur, whether it's throughout, you know, your career, going to the next weight class, understanding more, you know, about what are the changes that are going to come up for you as you continue on and continuing to succeed through your career. Because boxing is a physical sport. It's also very mental and, you know, being able to train for both parts of your sport. I'm wondering, what do you do physically to train yourself? And then also, how do you help yourself mentally as well?
You know, I mean, physically, everybody knows, you know, you just got to stay on top of it with your, you know, your training, your running, and especially your diet and all that. But mentally, it's just, I'm a very big believer in Christ. And that's I want to say like my strength right there. Jesus Christ is my strength, you know. Because when I get doubtful, which I do often, is he's my go-to. He's my reminder, you know, I'm here for a reason. I was put in the sport for a reason, and he's the one guiding me through it all, you know. And I use boxing to glorify him and to help people to recognize and realize why I am the way I am and who I am because of who I am is because of Jesus Christ and where I'm at in my career, you know. So I wouldn't be nowhere where I'm at in life or in boxing without Jesus. That's what it is.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that openly because that, you know, traditionally or typically would not be that common way of overcoming some of these challenges in life. You know, as in my experience, you know, it's typically working from, you know, those frameworks and those theories and different, you know, interventions that you support the athlete. But the athlete is, if that's what is the strength, then absolutely you got to be able to really tap into what works for you. And that makes it even more successful and hopefully to reach that next performance, because it is what connects with you. And then it also helps you fuel that energy for that performance. So I appreciate you being really vulnerable about that, you know, because sometimes religion isn't really, you know, one to be openly shared, one to be, you know, utilized as that support and that resource. So I thank you for sharing that, and notice that there was a tattoo that, you know, you pride yourself in and really open up that part of who you are and how that has helped you to reach the success that you have had. And so so that is one piece to who is part of your team. Who else is a part of your team that helps you reach those next levels that you feel is very important? Like you said, we're talking about the physical part and the mental part. And so if you want to share who else is a part of your team to help you get to that point.
Definitely, you know, like my parents, they're a very, very, very big part of it, you know. You know, without them, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at in boxing also. My parents support me so much, and they work their asses off to keep me in the sport and doing what I do, you know, from when I was a kid till now. And I can't express how much I appreciate them and love them for that. You know, and then there's my coach and his son, Ruben Mad Dog Guerrero, and then Robert the Ghost Guerrero as well. You know, they helped me so much in this career from when I first started, from when I first met them. And they've been over backwards for me, and they do a lot for me. And I can't express how much I appreciate them and love them for that as well. And then my manager, Bob Santos, he bends over backwards for me as well, and he does a lot for me, him and his family, his sons and his wife. And I appreciate them and love them a lot for what they do. I mean, there's a bunch of people that I can name, and you know, but these are the people that I really, really look up to in this part of the aspect and appreciate and love a lot.
Yeah, have them in your corner. Know that you can count on them, that you can depend on them, and they're going to show up and be there as your support. And really important, as we know, going into your fights, going into, you know, even the day-to-day grind of what you have to put, you know, that hard work and dedication, as mentioned, being able to notice that you have to have that support, whether they're there physically or, you know, knowing that you can always call on them. And that is so awesome that you can say that you have that pretty huge team to help you get through any of those challenges, and obviously the good times and all of the successes. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And what about as you were describing, you know, in boxing, there are the ups and downs. You know, you are boxing and being able to get through a fight. You know, if you think about what gets in the way, or what are some of the challenges mentally that may come, whether it's at a match or whether it's at, you know, a training, think about what are some of those challenges that you might face as you have experienced in a career as a boxer.
I mean, there's always going to be ups and downs, you know, like I've had many injuries. Those are the downs, and they took time to heal, and they took time out of my career as well. You know, I've torn my shoulder, which was 1.5 years. I've had an injury to my knee, which was another year. And then recently coming off of this injury, you know, I fractured my knuckle, and I've dislocated my knuckle multiple times. And it just kept getting re-injured. And that took about 2 years to fully recover and just be solid and ready for. But, you know, without the bad times, you wouldn't have the good times, you know? So I feel like all these happened for a reason, and they set me up for bigger and better things. And it did, you know. I had a really, really, really good fight on a nice undercard, a nice card. And it really showed. And all the time that it took to get ready, it paid off. And I shined that night, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, highlight. And so when you had that injury, could you break that down even further and tell us a little bit more about what were some of those difficulties in that moment? What specifically were you experiencing?
And I mean, when I first hurt my knuckle in the last fight 2 years ago, I didn't really think much of it. You know, I thought I would just heal on its own like it did the last time, and I'd be good to go. So I took about 3 months off, and when I went to go hit the bag again, I re-injured it. And I was like, oh, dang, you know, maybe I just didn't rest long enough and just do the same thing. I let it rest a little bit longer, let it heal on its own. So then I went to go spar, and I hit the guy on top of the head and just re-injured the whole thing, dislocated and fractured it again. And that kind of stressed me out because that was just going to put me out longer for a fight. And I didn't want to be out any longer for a fight because I just came off of injury prior to that. And I was kind of just frustrated about it, just getting injured over and over and over. And I just sat there and, you know, kind of got depressed about it and sad about it because I wasn't going to be fighting for a while, and how I just kept getting injured over and over again. But, you know, my pastor, he, Pastor Matt, you know, from here from Salinas, he always tells me, you know, things happen for a reason, and just to be patient, keep faith, you know, better things are going to always come. Don't lose my faith. Just stay strong, stay prayed up, and things will fall into place, you know. So it was just staying prayed up and keeping my faith.
Okay.
That's what it was. You know, I know the injuries, you know, they're going to happen. they're never going to happen. So I just knew that it'll go away eventually, and then better things will come.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a really insightful way of looking at it. And again, being able to tap into your support system, noticing who's in your corner that you need in those moments that are really in, a difficult time that you are facing, that adversity, understanding what you need to help you pull you back up and get you through, some of those challenges that you're experiencing as an athlete, and understanding that it's going to happen. Like you said, I'm injured. I know that it's going to, come up, and things are going to, you're going to face those situations. It's just a matter of being able to know what I need to do in that moment, and who I can call on, or what I recognize about myself and what I need to do. And so 2 years is a pretty long period of time to be able to experience, like you said, stress. So what does stress look like for you? Because I want to share and be able to let the audience know that looks so different for everybody. So what helps you is going to be different for someone else, another boxer, another athlete. And so for stress for you, how did you notice that it was that point in your time that you had to call on your support system?
I tend to seclude myself,
Okay.
I shut myself off from people, and I just get real snappy and stuff. And I kind of just don't want to communicate with anybody and just talk to anybody. I kind of just go on and do my own thing, and my mom would notice, my dad would notice, and especially my pastor, he noticed. And it's like, he had like a sixth sense for this too, because he would just text me if I was all right and stuff. And especially my brother Sammy too, from church as well. He would text me if everything was all right. They all had a sixth sense for all this, and they knew, and they have their ways of getting me out of it and just snap me back into it, keep me positive.
Exactly. Being able to notice that they are there for you. They know when to call out, reach out. If you start to feel like you're, isolating yourself and pushing away from, the support system, they know what they need to do in that moment. And understanding too, for you, if you are being able to understand that, picking up on the cues and the clues that you're recognizing what's happening in yourself as well, so that you can reach out and not distance yourself also. It sounds like you've got that set up for you to really get you through and help you overcome that difficulty in your life. And it sounds like you've got that support system with, your coach, your trainer, your, all your team that you have in your corner, as well as you mentioned, God, putting that, as that foundation and strength to really keep you anchored for any of those setbacks and any of those difficulties that you start to feel and notice. Physically, do you notice anything that happens when you start to back away and kind of keep yourself from others, and recognizing physiologically what happens in your body as you start to go into that mode? Yeah,
I just get real, I don't know, I just don't really want to do anything. I just get into that mode where I just want to stay home all day and just not do nothing. I don't want to move. I just want to sit on the couch and just not do nothing.
Rest as an athlete?
Yeah, rest, But that's the thing though, myself, I don't like to rest. I like to keep doing something, whether it's, at the gym in Gilroy, here in Salinas. I always feel like I just need to always be doing something or training, because I feel like I'm not doing nothing. I just feel like I'm just going to get into things I shouldn't be doing, and it's not good, So that's why I like to always constantly stay training and just stay busy in the gym.
So physically active, yes, and mentally active. So
yes.
What helps you? Do you have a phrase or an affirmation, something that motto that helps you stay strong, stay focused, to help you really get through some of these challenges?
No, I just think about how I want my future to be.
Okay,
that's what it is.
So thinking forward, thinking forward about what's to come.
I just think of how I want to be able to just be set. I want to be able to be financially set and just be able to take care of the people that took care of me. That's more of my drive right there too as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who doesn't want to take care of the people who didn't take it, that, that didn't help them, so that's more my drive right there. My parents, my coach, my family, the friends that are always there for me. I want to be able to help them and provide for them just how they provided for me when I wasn't able to do that stuff for them.
Yeah, your motivation is to give back. You have a big heart.
Yes.
You want to be able to give back to them, for those that were in your corner, stayed with you, stuck with you, helped you get through.
Even not like even the community as well, like people that aren't able to afford everything that whatever sport they're doing or whatever they want to do in life, like the kids, obviously their parents sometimes can't afford everything. And I want to be able to help kids and their families to be able to get what they need to get and do what they need to do. That's what I like to do. I like to help, the kids and the community.
I'm learning much about you, Justin. You have such a big heart. You're really humble, being able to really understand these strengths about you. You've shared all the physical strength that you have. But as you describe yourself, and I'm hearing more about, what really drives you and motivates you and keeps you in that forward thinking of what you want for your future. You have a big heart. You have that caring and kindness to really give back to others, so that hopefully will get you to where you are headed. And what is your goal? That's one thing that, I really don't want to leave this conversation without knowing what is your goal as you start to think about, okay, I've overcome these challenges. I have this forward thinking. I know what motivates me. I'm driven. I'm, have been able to have this great record. And now what's next? What's your goal?
Just keeping my head down, keep working, working towards being a champion in the sport of boxing, but also being a positive figure out of the kids and stuff, and being able to be motivation for people. I just want to be able to also just bring people closer to Jesus through the sport of boxing. That's my big goal right there, is just being able to glorify him through the sport of boxing and letting people know, like, this is why I'm a champion. This is why I'm at where I'm at in the sport, because of Jesus Christ. In his will, everything is all because of him. Even the bads, the good, everything. It happened for a reason, and it just got me to where I'm at in this life, in point in life right now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You using that to your advantage, as you mentioned, I keep my head down, try to, take away all those distractions, all the noise, stay focused, continue to get you towards that direction of reaching your goal. And God is the one that is helping you strive towards that and help you tune out all of that noise. If I can ask you that question, as far as the distractions, I could imagine you just staying so focused with the blinders, keeping your head down. In my mind, I was wondering if you had distractions that get in the way that really steer you off of that path.
There's always distractions, That's why I leave for training camps for a month and a half, but everything's a distraction, your friends, even your closest friends can be a distraction. There's so much stuff like I can name off, but like distractions, I just kind of try to tune them out by, like I said, looking in the future. I can't let this get to me or distract me right now, or sabotage my career, because what I want in the future is what I need to work for right now. So that's what it is.
So it sounds like you tell yourself in those moments when these distractions are coming at you, you tell yourself, I have my goal. I know what I need to accomplish. I need to keep on that path and keep pushing and grinding and working hard towards that goal. And so the distractions are easily tuned out. Do you tell yourself something? Is there a trick or some kind of headsets? I know that athletes have different tricks and tools and strategies to be able to help themselves overcome those distractions and that outside noise, or sometimes internal noise.
I just kind of like I said, I just think of the future, how I want it to be.
Okay.
I always tell myself, you want that Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. You want that Ferrari, you want that nice house. You want to be set. That's you got to sacrifice. You know, don't let this stuff get in your way. Don't let it blind me. Just stay focused.
Yeah. So reminding yourself, and if there's ever, you know, any phrase or like you said, you know, if there's a Bible verse or anything that really gets you back into that straight, narrow focus, do you have any Bible verse or anything that really gets you in that focus?
I do. Psalm 28:7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. You know, one of my buddy Rob's old CrossFit coaches, he would always just tell me like, this verse is for you. And ever since then, it kind of just stuck with me. And when I'm training or, you know, I'm feeling beat down or just tired or just anything, I repeat that verse in my head. The Lord is my strength and my shield. The Lord is my strength and my shield. And it just kind of keeps me going and going and going. And it does. It really does.
Yeah. That's a great one because as you were describing, distractions are everywhere. And even you saying, you know, coming from Salinas, if people aren't familiar with Salinas, California, you know, there are bad directions that you can head, meaning, you know, gang life and just, you know, drugs. I mean, that happens everywhere. But for you to be able to share that, you know, if I didn't stick to my goals and keep that blindfold, you know, blinders on to be able to get me towards that direction, you know, that armor is that, you know, your shield to help you really stay focused and what better way of having that strength of God. So I appreciate you sharing that again, because it isn't the traditional, you know, it's definitely outside of the box because that's not what, you know, is usually voiced. And so I appreciate you being a 25-year-old, being, you know, so confident in being able to bring that to the table and share that so that others that are listening can connect because it, you know, it's again, what helps each individual. And hopefully that will be something that someone out there is definitely going to say, oh, well, yeah, I don't have to, you know, hide that. I can, you know, be really open about it and share and notice that this does help for reaching your goals and continuing that success. So as I come to a close, I like to ask this question to everybody that comes on. And it's a reflection to be able to think of, if I only knew what I know now, kind of thinking back of when you first started or something you would have done differently, leaving that piece of advice for anybody that's out there listening and looks up to you or, you know, whoever they are, hoping to make that connection, that the lesson that you've learned, that they can connect from that as well.
You know, I would just say, ignore the outside noise. Don't listen to what people say. Who cares what they say? Who cares what they think? They're not the ones putting in the work. They're not the ones that are in your shoes. Do what you need to do. Do what I needed to do. And just stay focused. Like I said, keep your head down. Keep my head down. Just trust in your team, who's there for you and who's taking care of you. And just keep your faith. Stay prayed up. And just keep on building that relationship with Jesus. Because that's the biggest of them all. The most important is that relationship with Jesus. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you openly sharing about how challenging it is to have these distractions and what it takes for you to continue to stay motivated and helping you get to the success and reaching those goals. And I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And I hope that you achieve all of those goals that you have set for you. And I look forward to following you and seeing what happens next. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, Justin. Honored again to be able to share this conversation with you. You're such a humble and really hardworking kid. I really think that you are going to go places, especially the way that you are carrying yourself and knowing what it takes for you to reach that next goal.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to have me on here as well.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.